For all my life, I've been told that you have to blow into the cartridge to get them to work. But HoPiKo posits a different theory. Forget about dust and dirt, because this curious new platformer would like you to believe that the problem is a virus that invades your classic game consoles. And as such, the only solution is to play through a simple yet devilishly challenging 2D platformer in order to bring your old tech back to life. Originally released last year on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and on mobile phones in 2015, HoPiKo is finally making the jump to PC. It's fitting because jumping is pretty much the only thing this little hero can actually do. There's no running around, just you making perfectly timed jumps in an attempt to save all of your HoPiKo friends. The trick is that you're able to aim before each jump, giving us freedom to fly across the screen with reckless abandon. The little guy is limited to jumping in straight lines, but beyond that he's free to get to the exit any way he sees fit. The goal is to complete 5 bite-sized stages in a row and then move on to the next group. If you die at any point, you're just gonna have to start over from the beginning. Sorry. At first this seems like no big deal, but HoPiKo has a lot of mean tricks up its sleeve. You'll begin to run into exploding platforms, homing missiles, platforms affected by gravity, spikes, lasers, and a whole lot more. All this adds up to a good, old-fashioned challenge that relies heavily on your reflexes and memory. The combination of the obstacles and the 5-stage structure adds a lot to the urgency of HoPiKo. Not that similar platformers like N++ and Super Meat Boy had a leisurely pace, but there's a quickness here that can often feel chaotic. And much like the games I just mentioned, HoPiKo is good about quick restarts, so there's never more than a second or two between a death and a retry. Despite the simplicity often working in the game's favor, I found HoPiKo to be a tiring experience. It's one of those games where things can happen so fast that levels start to blur together after a while. I do like that each level is good about throwing new ideas at you, but there's certainly a lot of repetition involved. The minimalist art design certainly doesn't help, though it is striking, and they do mix things up with the occasional color swap. I also found the difficulty to be cheap, especially in the second half of the game. Don't get me wrong, I went into HoPiKo knowing that this was a game built around challenging platforming puzzles, but some of those levels had me wanting to break my controller in half. Individually they aren't bad, but trying to make a perfect run where you master 5 stages in a row can be frustrating at times. This is definitely for the people who get an almost masochistic thrill out of insanely difficult platformers. Although it came with some anger and a lot of frustration, I ultimately had a good time with HoPiKo. This is a great play on games like Super Meat Boy and N++, and fans of this type of challenging platformer will find a lot to like here. There are a lot of levels to master, new modes to unlock, and even a harder difficulty for the real experts. I'm not sure I'm ever going to become a real expert at HoPiKo, but I definitely had a good time jumping my way through this clever platformer. Hey, thanks for watching our review. This was kind of a slow week, but you know, after the December I went through, I needed a slow week. We're going to be back with a vengeance next week, thanks to some new games finally coming out. Plus, we're preparing a few big features, including a fun trivia game show that you can take part in. I'm also looking at ways of doing smaller recaps of worthwhile games that normally wouldn't get a full review. Yeah, January is going to be packed, so I recommend you click the subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.